All right. This is Reginald Matthews, and we are on Chapter 7, Design with Color. Now, this was a real good chapter for me because I love sports, and all my sports teams have these wild colors, these uniforms, and I love fashion. And, when you are trying to dress nice or come up with a new outfit, color really does play a part of it. Also, when you're designing flyers, like we were talking about in the class, designing flyers, designing posters, business cards, documents, things of that nature, you really can make an image pop or kind of let it recede into the background, so to speak, depending on what it is, depending on your colors and your color choices. All right, first off, I want to talk about the color wheel. Now, right here, you can see all the various colors on the wheel. The base colors is what I like to call them. Now, initially, you're going to have your primary colors, your yellow, red, and blue, and followed by that, you have your secondary colors, which are, your green, purple, and orange, and your territory colors, which is a combination of those primary and secondary colors. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit just to show you what I mean. You combine these two colors here, you get this one. You combine these two, you get this one. And you kind of see where I'm going with this. Combining the two colors generates another color, which creates those territory colors. Combine the primary and the secondary color, basically. All right. Now, moving on. Color relationships. With this, like we said earlier, far as trying to come up with a good color scheme, you want to get you a good color to focus on. Let that be what they call your main color or primary color. And then you want the alternate color, secondary color to come behind it. So often, like with a school logo or a company logo, you will see colors that work together well based on the relationship that they have on the color wheel. So for instance, right here, you have blue and you have orange. Those are directly across from each other on the color wheel, and they tend to complement each other very well. Same thing with green and red, which we know is primarily Christmas colors. Going back to blue and orange, there are several of those schools and corporate logos that combine those colors. Very popular, as well as purple and yellow. And focusing right here, I talk about the sports teams and other entities. Also, a fun fact that I found was the wheel also came up was a I guess the origin for life jackets and hunting jackets being orange because the orange contrasts against the blue of the water, and the orange also contrasts against the trees in the forest. So, as you can imagine, that orange tends to stand out in open water and in the forest when you're hunting for those safety measures. All right. Here's an example of the Miami Dolphins logo. Now, you see the primary colors here are the blue and the orange. Now, if you were to go and look on the color wheel, these colors are actually opposite each other, therefore the perfect complement. Perfect complement. All right. I grew up near Louisiana and still live in this area. And of course, LSU is a popular sports team, but same thing again on the color wheel. The purple and the yellow or gold are complementary to each other because they are directly across from each other. All right, now we're going to look at shades and tints. Okay, now a pure color is the hue. So those colors on the color wheel will be considered a hue. Now adding black to a hue creates a shade, and adding white to a color creates a tint. Now, what I'm going to do is going to shift away from this presentation and move over to a graphic. Okay, I have our Southern Miss logo. I'm going to go up here to Edit and Create. And we're going to go to, let's go to Edit with Paint 3D. All right, I'm just going to go create me a color real quick. Now, as you see right down here are our base colors, the hue to choose from. Now that we have it, as you see, it gets darker the more we move it toward the black, and lighter let's move it toward the white. So that's giving you a short example of how we do it to change those colors. Also, you see there's a bevy of colors in between the extremes that we could go to. And as you see, if I pull it too far, we do get black. Okay, we won't save that. We'll close that out though. I'm going to move back to our sway. All right, warm colors versus cool colors. Now, I've heard this term a lot just in passing, never really knew what it meant. I always had an idea because when you think cool, you think blue, right? And when you think warm, you think red or orange, typically with fire and ice, so to speak. They are used a lot in various documents. Typically, you will see something that's considered like a warm color used to make things pop and stand out. A cool color is really the opposite. They kind of tend to stick to the background or to really just contrast with other images or graphics or even other colors. Okay, now this is one of the projects that I did for our class. This is the first one. Now, if you notice, I put two Golden Eagle logos at the top. And the reason why, because with the gold, they tend to pop out with the flowers here, these sunflowers. And I thought that was real catchy and nice and neat to really make it stand out. It worked great. Now, this one here is a bevy of things, a lot of different things. So I integrated several graphics here. But as you see, I've dropped all these warm colors here and some cool colors. And it really pulls away from the graphics I have in each corner of the and the graphic in the center. So what stands out? It's like I'm asking you, what really stands out? I personally think it's the colors surrounding the graphics more so than the graphics. And even if you had only the warm colors here, which you see the yellows and the oranges, a little bit of red, the cool colors are really all contrasting against it, and it really makes it more visibly appealing, I think. And that is the end of my chapter 7 presentation. As you see, I got a bevy of colors right here again, and we're going to move on to chapter 8. Thank you.